Imagine a warm summer evening in 1912, the kind where the air hums with cicadas and families linger on porches after church. In the small railroad town of Villisca, Iowa, one such family heads home, full of laughter from a joyful Children's Day celebration. By morning, their house has become a tomb, 8 people, including 6 children, slaughtered in their beds with an axe. No screams split the night. No doors were forced. The killer even paused to eat before vanishing into the dawn. This is the Villisca Axe Murders, a nightmare that gripped America and remains unsolved over a century later. Tonight, I'm sharing the full story in 2 parts, released simultaneously. This is the true crime tale, woven from the facts. If you're drawn to the shadows beyond, the hauntings, the whispers from the grave, the companion is already available on Eerie Tales with Cosette. Links in the description and pinned comment. Let me take you back to Villisca, a quiet dot on the Iowa prairie in June 1912. With just over 2,000 souls, it was the sort of place where life moved slowly, cornfields stretching to the horizon, hogs rooting in the mud, and the Chicago, Burlington and Quincy Railroad rumbling through like clockwork. Doors stayed unlocked, neighbors shared pies, and the biggest excitement was the weekly sermon or a new shipment at the hardware store. But on that fateful Sunday, the 9th of June, the air was thick with the promise of summer, and the local Presbyterian church hosted its annual Children's Day program, a sweltering affair of hymns, recitations, and ice cream on the lawn. At the heart of it all was the Moore family, the very picture of Midwestern success and warmth. Josiah B. Moore, 43, had built himself up from nothing. Born in Illinois to modest farmers, he'd apprenticed as a clerk before landing in Villisca and rising through the ranks at a local implement firm. Ambitious and affable, with a neatly trimmed mustache, he struck out on his own in 1907, opening Moreland Implement Company and snagging the exclusive John Deere franchise for the county. It was a coup that turned heads and filled his pockets. His wife, Sarah Montgomery Moore, 39, was the gentle anchor. Born in nearby Page County, she'd married Josiah in 1892 and devoted her days to home and church. A talented pianist, she played for the choir and organized community events, her kind smile hiding a quiet strength. Their 4 children were the joy of the household: Herman Montgomery Moore, 11, already tall and freckled, helping his dad with deliveries and dreaming of machines; Mary Catherine Moore, 10, everyone called her Katie, a bright spark with ribbons in her hair, who recited poems at church that very evening; Arthur Boyd Moore, 7, or Boyd as they knew him, all knees and mischief, forever chasing his siblings; and little Paul Vernon Moore, just 5, the baby with cherubic curls and a thumb-sucking habit, clutching his rag doll as he drifted off. That night, after the program wrapped around 9:30, Katie begged 2 friends to stay over: Lena Gertrude Stillinger, 12, a tomboy with braids and big dreams of becoming a teacher, and her little sister Ina Mae Stillinger, 8, all ringlets and giggles, inseparable from her porcelain doll. The girl's father was a railroad foreman, their home a bustling place nearby, but a locked door meant they couldn't get in late. Josiah and Sarah, ever hospitable, welcomed them into the downstairs guest room. The group walked home under the stars, sipped cocoa, said prayers, and turned out the lights by 10:30. Curtains billowed in the breeze from open windows. It was the last peaceful moment. Sometime after midnight, likely between 12:30 and 2 a.m., based on how the blood had clotted, evil slipped into the house. The back door was unlocked, as always. The intruder, perhaps waiting in the attic or barn where fresh cigarette butts and disturbed hay were later found, grabbed Josiah's own axe from the woodshed. He moved upstairs first, silent as a shadow. Josiah and Sarah were struck in their sleep, Josiah's skull shattered with over 30 blows from the blunt side, his face a ruin, blood arcing to the ceiling. Sarah twisted in agony, her throat slashed with the blade's edge, a defensive wound on her arm telling of a brief, desperate stir. The children didn't stand a chance. Herman, perhaps roused by the thuds, took more than 30 hits, gashes on his arms from trying to shield himself. Katie was turned face down, her small body absorbing 20 blows. Boyd and Paul, curled together in the same bed, were obliterated, 20 and 25 strikes, their tiny skulls pulped. Downstairs, the Stillinger girls may have heard something. Lena fought back, wounds on her forearms, her nightgown hiked up in a way that hinted at something darker. though exams of the time found no clear evidence of assault. Ina May, the youngest, was killed almost in her sleep, fewer blows but no less fatal. The killer didn't rush. He covered every face with bedclothes, as if granting a twisted mercy. He draped skirts and blankets over 10 mirrors and windows, stuffing chimneys with garments to block light or smoke. A kerosene lamp burned low on the landing, its chimney removed for a ghostly glow. He washed the blood from his hands in the kitchen basin, sliced a 4-pound slab of bacon from the icebox and left it by the axe, symbolic, perhaps, or just bizarre. An uneaten meal sat on the table. Even the family cat was locked in the basement, unharmed. The axe, wiped but still gore-flecked, was propped in the guest room. By dawn, he was gone. Bloodhounds later trailed his scent to the Nodaway River and the rail depot, where it vanished among the freight cars. Dawn broke humid and mocking. At 5 a.m., the milkman noted no orders left out. By 7, neighbor Mary Peckham grew worried. The Moose were early risers, but no chores stirred, no curtains drawn. She knocked, then called Josiah's brother Ross. With a spare key, Ross entered and recoiled at the coppery stench. Peering into the guest room, he saw Ina May and Lena Gertrude, pale and blooded. He bolted out, gasping for the marshal. Henry Hank Horton, the stout local lawman, arrived at a scene from hell. "Somebody's murdered in every bed," he muttered. Word spread like prairie fire, 8 dead, 6 children. The town descended, over 100 trampling the house by 9:30, handling the axe, even pocketing skull fragments as grim souvenirs. The sheriff and coroner arrived too late to preserve much. The National Guard sealed it by 11, but the damage was done. The funerals on the 12th of June were the largest Iowa had seen, 5,000 mourners lining the streets, black crepe fluttering, guard rifles gleaming against whispers of lynching. 6 tiny white coffins for the children, 2 larger for the adults, were carried through the square to Villisca Cemetery. The Moose in their family plot, the Stillingers nearby. A state reward of $1,000, county $500, but no leads from the inquest. Autopsies confirmed death by massive skull fractures, no poisons tested, no clear motive beyond rage or madness. In a town where everyone knew each other's secrets, suspects emerged like ghosts from the corn. Over 100 were questioned, but 3 theories have endured for more than 113 years. First, the business grudge that festered like poison. Frank F. Jones was Villisca's kingpin, state senator, banker, implement tycoon. Josiah had been his star employee until he quit in 1907, opening a rival store and stealing the John Deere deal Jones craved. It cost Frank thousands, and rumors swelled of arson at Josiah's place, 2 fires in 1911. Worse, whispers of an affair between Josiah and Frank's daughter-in-law, Donna, caught on the party-line phone by nosy operators. Frank allegedly offered $5,000 for Josiah's removal. But the hand? William Blackie Mansfield, a morphine-addicted drifter and ex-army man, Jones employed for odd jobs. Detectives linked Blackie to identical axe murders. His own family in Blue Island, Illinois, in 1914, wife, child, in-laws, faces covered, mirrors draped. A Pinkerton swore Blackie confessed in 1916, hid in the attic, struck at midnight, paid by Jones. Grand juries in 1916 and 1917 twice refused to indict. Frank's political machine was simply too strong. The scandal destroyed his career. He lost re-election in 1912 and never held office again. He died uncharged in 1941. Then there's the mad preacher, Reverend Lynn George Jacqueline Kelly, a diminutive Englishman, 5 feet 2 inches and erratic, with a history of breakdowns and obscene letters to young women. He'd preached in Villisca that weekend, eyes fixed on Mary Catherine and Lena Gertrude during the recital. He boarded the 5 a.m. train on Monday, boasting to passengers of 8 dead souls before the bodies were found. When arrested in 1917, he confessed after grueling interrogation. God commanded him to slay utterly, old and young, quoting scripture, hid in the barn, peeped through a knothole, draped mirrors to bind spirits. He knew details only the killer could, the bacon slab, the low lamp. But he recanted, claiming coercion. 2 trials ended in hung juries and acquittal. Juries saw a fragile mind, not a monster. Kelly died in 1949, still scribbling justifications. But perhaps the most chilling possibility, Villisca was just one stop on a serial killer's bloody tour. Between 1898 and 1912, over 50 people, perhaps 100, were axed in their beds across the Midwest and beyond, with eerie signatures, blunt side blows, faces shrouded, mirrors draped, chimneys stuffed, a low burning lamp, the axe left wiped, always near rail lines. The press called him Billy the Axeman, or the Man from the Train. Just 5 nights before Villisca, in Powler, Kansas, 170 miles away, Rowling and Anna Hudson were hacked in their bed, faces covered, dog locked unharmed, sent lost at the depot. And the earliest confirmed victim in this chilling string may well have been Blanche Wayne of Colorado Springs. On the night of the 17th of September 1911, 9 months before Villisca, Blanche, her husband H.C. Wayne, their young child, and 3 members of the neighboring Burnham family were all hacked to death while they slept. The killer used the family's own axe, heaped bedclothes over every victim's head so their dead eyes couldn't watch him, paused to wash the blood from his hands in a basin, and simply left the weapon at the scene. Mirrors were covered, a lamp burned low, and the scent vanished at the nearby railroad tracks, every signature that would appear again and again, including 5 nights before Villisca in Powler, Kansas, and finally in that quiet white house on East 2nd Street. Earlier, the Showmans in Ellsworth, Kansas, family of 5, the Dawsons in Monmouth, Illinois, 3 dead, the Hills in Ardenwald, Oregon, 4 bludgeoned. Criminologists like Edgar Epperly and Bill James mapped dozens more, pointing to Paul Mueller, a German immigrant carpenter who vanished after a 1897 Massachusetts slaying. Or Henry Lee Moore, a drifter who axed his own kin in 1912. The hounds in Villisca lost the trail at the tracks, a transient hopping freights, killing on impulse, vanishing west. Other shadows flickered. Josiah's brother-in-law with old threats, a disgruntled employee, a vagrant oil worker obsessed with axes. But no one was ever convicted. The case lingers open with Iowa's investigators, no DNA left to test, no closure for the graves. 8 names etched in stone: Josiah B. Moore, Sarah Montgomery Moore, Herman Montgomery Moore, Mary Catherine Moore, Arthur Boyd Moore, Paul Vernon Moore, Lena Gertrude Stillinger, Ina May Stillinger. A family and 2 girls, gone in the night. But the house at 508 East 2nd Street remembers, and that's where the story turns darker. The full Paranormal Companion is already live on Eerie Tales with Cosette, the Villisca Axe Murders, Ghosts, Curses and the House That Bleeds, Part 2. Link in the description and pinned comment. Dive in for the chills that follow the blood. If this tale gripped you, subscribe, hit the bell, and share your theory in the comments. Was it Jones's revenge, Kelly's madness, or the man from the train? I look forward to reading them. Thank you for joining me on True Crime Tales with Cosette. Sleep well, if you can. And I'll see you on the other channel.